Are you willing to donate your body? Got a problem with authority? Would you stop a speeding bullet? Are you afraid of the masked man? Come on! Bring it on! Think you've got a game?
Yeah, that's right! Coming at you live and on demand from the heart of Europe, this is the most badass hockey podcast in all the known land. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Tommy C, and you're listening to the Summer Show, a solo show of Shot from the Point Live. Absolutely the best hockey show, radio show, YouTube show on the internet today. Why? Because I do it, bitches. That's right. I'm here, ready to go with the all-new intro and everything. I'm ready to go nuts. Unfortunately, the man you just saw on your screen there, Mr. Jake Link, is not going to be able to join us. He's got to play softball. He's going to play softball. Man's got to play softball. Softball. For softballs. All right, what are we going to be covering today on Shot from the Point? Of course, we're going to go over, well, the free agent deals that I think are important this summer. Major rule changes coming in the AHL. I'll touch a little bit. Oh, big finish coming. Big finish. Ooh, look at that. Oh, wow, here we go. That's badass. Yeah, lots of Satan music for Satan's game. That's right. Shot from the Point Live. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Nice to see you. Again, I haven't done a video in a month. I broke all my promises on what I'm supposed to do. But I don't care, because I got stuff going on, right? Yep. We got to immigrate, right? Yep. We got to get a job, right? Not going too well on that front either. Although, I did get a response back from USA Jobs. So, yeah, that's been. So, well, anyway, that's personal stuff. Hey, what are we covering today? Well, I'm going to definitely be going with the free agent thing. Major rule changes in the AHL, some good, some bad. And I think the question is, will it have an impact on NHL rules? Everything from overtime to fighting. I'm going to be touching on NHL 15. Ramma Jamma Lamma Lamma Ding Dong out there from Vancouver recently had an interview with Puck Daddy talking about it. I also heard some interesting comments from Bacon, who has a great channel here on YouTube. He does a YouTube trolling, NHL trolling channel, and well, I wouldn't say it's just trolling, but there's a lot of good advice. I definitely improved my cyber hockey game from listening to Bacon. He says that the changes, maybe not going with the next generation consoles for NHL 15 was a smart thing to do, and he's absolutely right, because when they did that with PASS, I think it was the NHL 97 for the first PlayStation, it was garbage. I'm also going to respond to some hate mail that I got from my last video, and it's going to be my final response on this. I'm going to go over some of the hate mail and some of the criticisms I got. Some were legit, most weren't, because most of you are bitches. Bitches! And, yeah, then I'll tell you why I've been screwing off the last month and what have you, and I'll tell you about the future of the show. And if you like, you can call me anytime, right here on Shot from the Point. Now, we don't got a phone number yet. We're going to have to do it on Skype, but the good news about doing it on Skype is if you do it on Skype and have a question or a comment, then what I can do is not charge you anything. In other words, you're not going to get anything in your phone bill. So Skype's always a better move anyway. Just have your crap together. If I hear a lot of, can you hear me? You're gone. I don't got time for that. I'm always yelling at Joe Cronin to move callers on. And I'm going to take my own advice and what have you. And before we start the show, let's give Joe a big plug. Are you a wrestling fan? Well, yes, I'm a wrestling fan. Well, sort of. I'm more of a Joe Cronin fan. But Joe Cronin's got the best up-and-coming show on YouTube. Almost a year from now, SummerSlam would be the anniversary where they really hit hot. Joe Cronin has the best fans on YouTube, and they're great supporters of this show. Love to hear from everybody on Twitter. And an informative and entertaining podcast. An informative and entertaining podcast. That's Joe Cronin of The Joe Cronin Show. Does lots of wild and stuff. Gets the most out of YouTube. And if you subscribe right now to YouTube, you can catch our late night guy talk shock jock comedy show with me, Tommy C, Joe Cronin, and of course the great Chris Tazovich. That's Monetize This every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, check out the Joe Cronin Show. Let's get into the National Hockey League. Now, I'm going to go over some of the free agents that I think are... look, I'm not going to go over each free agent. I'm not going to sit there and pretend, like I know absolutely every one of them. But I pointed out some ones that I thought were important. And, of course, if you think I missed one, let me know. The first one is near and dear to my heart. You can't even see my beautiful face here. It was Benoit Pouliot. The Rangers managed to let him go. And I don't understand it, considering they probably freed up a lot of salary by letting Richards go to Chicago. Benoit Pouliot, of course, he's on a line with Zuccarello. They're a big part of the Rangers Stanley Cup run. He goes to Edmonton. I think this is a horrible move by the Rangers. This was an absolute must signing, and it's not the only must sign I think the Rangers missed this summer. Yeah, they got the big ones like Lundqvist early in the season, but I think the way Pouliot performed a lot better than a lot of... I mean, he was a high draft pick for Columbus, and he has had some injury issues, but, I mean, he was a big part of that run. And he's going to be sorely missed, I think, if you're a Ranger fan. A little bit of surprise, Paul Stastny from the Colorado Avalanche. He heads to St. Louis. Little surprised with that one. I would think Stastny's a big part of that Colorado team. I really liked them early in the season. If you listen to some of my old videos, I expected them to do well in the season, very early. Of course, Patrick Waugh got Coach of the Year. But Stastny heads on to St. Louis, which, I don't know, Paul. I think I would have stayed there. I think they're building something, and I think you also got to lose to win, where it's a little disappointing the way Colorado went down. It was a little bit of a fluke, but they I would have stayed with Colorado. I think they're a team of the future, and that was a big loss for Colorado. And I think going to St. Louis is not a sideways music, but slightly down. It's certainly not a bad team. The other big news, of course, Sean Thornton was let go by the Boston Bruins. This caused a lot of controversy on the internet and the blogs and what have you, because if the Bruins don't need Sean Thornton and they're changing their styles to get away from that big, bad Boston Bruin image, which Sean Thornton helped, what is the future of enforcers in the league? And we're going to be getting into AHL changes later. But this is not good for enforcers. Of course, I'm a big supporter of fighting. I've watched European hockey. They don't have fighting. And I've been a viewer of the World Cup where they have red cards and guys constantly try to draw to make sure the guys get the equivalent to game misconducts or red cards. It's sad that Sean's got to move on. He is 36 years old. He is coming towards the end of his career. And it's too bad. It's too bad. He does bring leadership qualities. I think his behavior, squirting water on PK Subban, may have led to this. And, we say give luck to... well, you know what? Every time they say the enforcer's done, and they've been basically saying that since the early 90s when fighting dropped almost nothing in the NHL, they always seem to find a way back in. We'll get into that later. Dan Boyle, he goes from the San Jose Sharks to the hapless playoff San Jose Sharks to the New York Rangers. And that's a pretty good thing because the other Boyle, the hell is his name? I just had a brain fart right now. What? Brian. Another Irishman. Brian Boyle actually found a new home. So it is a good replacement. It is a bit of an upgrade. But, again, I don't like what the Rangers are doing, getting rid of their big men, getting them rid of their toughness. I don't see the league as being changing that dramatic this year where you don't need toughness, but you don't need a physical presence. But it does seem with the letting go of Sean Thornton and maybe letting go Dan Boyle that they're going to concentrate more on offense, which tells me the team with the best defense will win next year or the best toughness because they'll be able to withstand and take down and control high-powered offensive players. That remains to be seen. Dan Boyle, definitely a good pickup. Dan Boyle probably had our best moment on Chopping the Point Leads, our best audio clip. I wish I have it. I wish I had it right in front of me. Not really prepared because it's summertime, ladies and gentlemen. Summer it is. Summer it is. And it's too bad. I'm looking. I'm about to ready to give up. Show music files, show audio. Jeez. Could I? Yeah, I did. Oh, here he is. Dan Boyle, here he is.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you think we went out there and said, hey, guys, we got 3 more cracks at this? Do you think that's what we're doing? Let me ask you. You're the reporter. Let me ask you.
You're a professional athlete, so I'm not going to...
So your question to me is, did we go out there and think in the back of our minds we have 3 cracks at this?
Did you?
Is that what you think is that your question to me?
I'm not in your position.
I'm asking, is that your question to me? Sorry, but
yes, okay.
That is your question.
Okay, okay.
So did we go out there and think we have 3 cracks at this? I can't believe that's a question, but no, we did not.
The great Dan Boyle talking about when the San Jose Sharks were forced into a Game 7 against the Los Angeles Kings, doing what only 4 teams in history did, right? 4 teams in history came back from a 3-0 lead. The Los Angeles Kings, of course, one of them going on to win the Stanley Cup. Kings running around with the cup this summer like it's nobody's business. But that's one of my... So if we got a funny player like that, that's always funny to me. Ryan Miller, the great American goalie Ryan Miller, he decides not to stay in St. Louis and goes to Vancouver. Vancouver? You really should be calling Roberto Luongo. You really want to go to Vancouver? The Twins are as old as my grandmother. Now, they're clearing the deck over there. But at your age, do you want to be on a rebuilding team? I might have stayed in St. Louis. Play with Paul Stastny. With your USA teammate. Don't think that was a good move on Miller's part. But then again, let's not kid ourselves. Money is a deciding factor at the end of the day because it really depends what you want. Let's face it, you got to be lucky, almost selected by the hockey gods to win a Stanley Cup. So, and you can only make this kind of money so long. And your salary goes from $5 million a year to, if you're lucky, $100,000. And if you're living a $5 million lifestyle and it drops down to $100,000, you could be in trouble real quick. So you got to make that money while you can. That's why I don't pass judgment on these guys for leaving. But depends on what you want more. You want money, you want the cup. Anton Strawman, he leaves the New York Rangers and heads out to play with former teammate Ryan Callahan in Tampa Bay. Huge pickup, in my opinion. Real upgrade for the Tampa Bay defense, and a horrible move not to re-sign this guy for the New York Rangers. Disgusting. When Dan Girardi was nowhere to be found, Anton Strawman was there and was noticed. Old Pierre Maguire noticed it left and right, and I think that's horrible. Jonas Hiller, one of the few Swiss players in the league, with his poor performance for Anaheim, their collapse, he took a lot of the blame for it. His punishment, as Jake Link would say, hockey Siberia. He'll be heading to Calgary. Good luck, Swiss man. That's what it sounds like to me. Matt Molson, who was in a big deal with, who didn't resign with the New York Islanders, got sent to the Buffalo Sabres, which is rough. And later on at the trade deadline, he was actually dealt to Minnesota. He'll head back to Buffalo. He must really like Ted Nolan. Because I would be nowhere near Buffalo at this stage. But I guess he wants to be a part of a rebuilding process, or he's just comfortable in the New York area. But I tell you something, for those that don't know, Buffalo's practically Canada. It's not like Long Island or New York City or, ugh. It's horrid. Horrid. Speaking of guys sent from the Islanders, Thomas Vanek, he's going to leave Montreal, shamed out of Montreal, and he's going to switch places with Molson and go to Minnesota. Well, here's the thing about Vanek. If he's good, he's good. But he's got a reputation for being lazy, and he doesn't always show up. Very streaky player. Good move for good move for Minnesota, providing Vanek decides to show up and perform. Brooks Orpik runs out of Pittsburgh, which I think was a good move for him, and heads to Washington Capitals. Also, Matt Niskanen leaves Pittsburgh. I didn't write this down, but I noticed this when I was going through some stuff. Matt Niskanen, another Pittsburgh defenseman, also heads to Washington. All of a sudden, the Washington defense is looking real good. Maybe they're almost good enough for Olvey to completely forget about back checking. Not that he remembered the last 10 years. Anyway, Olvey doesn't like to back check. Controller disconnected. You ever get that message? Yeah. You ever see that meme or that GIF? But that's an upgrade. It's also interesting. I want to point out the guys that said that that Pittsburgh had a leadership problem or a motivation problem. That was it. Just before the playoffs, when they were humiliated by the New York Rangers, if you ask me, after dropping a 3-1 lead. The guys that were most vocal were Matt Niskanen, Brooks Orpik, and then they head to Washington. Again, last year, headed to Boston. I'm willing to bet Sidney Crosby is difficult and is a big baby, and no one wants to be around him. I don't know. That's my guess. It's because you have a pathological hate of Sidney Crosby. No, I wouldn't call it hate, but I certainly don't like him. And he's just not my type of player. But he's so good. He's so good. Yeah, he is good. But he's a lousy leader. And he said himself he wasn't hurt. Well, maybe he was trying to keep an excuse. He's also avoiding some surgery. We'll get into that. Well, maybe we'll touch on that later when we get to the news part of the show. Brad Richards was mercifully let go by the New York Rangers. He was almost bought out at the end of last season. It was really surprising to see him in the season. He heads to Chicago. Here's why I think this is a good move, not only for the Rangers, because they get to dump some salary. He'll go to Chicago, and he won't have to fill in sort of a leadership role that he had to fill in with the New York Rangers, and he may be able to take a seat back, sort of like Marion Gaborik did for the Los Angeles Kings. So I kind of wish Richards the best. He did a lot for the Rangers. He hasn't been good in the last two playoffs, but either is Rick Nash. I kind of hope that this kind of works out for him. I don't know. I wonder if will he be playing the point in the power play? Doubt it. There was a move that I wasn't Laban Yo made. He should have pulled that guy off the power play. I know he's got a big shot, but he doesn't seem to have it, at least in that playoff. But it maybe if he's not the guy, sort of like Gaborik was in LA, maybe this would be good for him, and I wish him the best of luck. Mike, I roll on the ground like a baby when I played for Montreal. Ribeiro, he leaves Arizona, which is a real bad situation for him. He's getting fined and everything else. He goes to Nashville. He credits his crumbling divorce or his crumbling marriage, according to Puck Daddy, to his problem in Arizona. I find that interesting because when he left and went to Arizona, his wife made a tweet. I remembered this. Oh no, we've got to move again. I think I tweeted her back. You married a hockey player, you big baboon. Of course he had to move again. So she probably bitched and moaned the whole time. And like most women, I didn't get the whistle. I was told if I said something inappropriate, I would get the whistle. Bitch and whining. You wouldn't complain if I made that kind of money. Would you move to Arizona?
Why Arizona is so hot?
Well, I got that. See, there you go. You prove my point. You married a hockey player.
No.
No, you married a YouTube jerk. So he said that had a lot to do with it. Hey, let me tell you something. Things aren't going well at home. You could suck at work. I've got personal experience. My Army career definitely suffered when my ex headed for the doors, but I was very lucky to get you. What?
Thank you.
I love you. Thanks for supporting me. Because we're gonna. This is gonna make us rich. Dead silence. Here's what happened when I said this is gonna make us rich. This is what happened in my head. I'm gonna let you in. All right, and Ribeiro rolling around. Jarome Iginla, the Bruins can't keep him and maintain the cap, so he goes on his Stanley Cup search, heads to Colorado. I want Iggy to win a cup so bad. He's the best player probably before Sidney Crosby of the whole Ovechkin-Crosby era. Came in the tail end of the dead puck era. I love Jarome. I love the fact that he's you're not going to see a player like Jerome McGinley anymore. He was a throwback in the late 90s. He's a first top line all-star scorer that can throw down and defend his teammates and doesn't lose too many fights. He lost the first one I saw this year. I mean, everybody loses, but that's it. Lastly was Lee Stampanik. He goes from Calgary, which is a gift to the New York Rangers. It's really a replacement for Brian Boyle. Thanks for the Brian Boyle pickup. Super. The Brian Boyle pickup. And that's all this. That's all that. I'm going to do some ads throughout this sucker. JohnFreemanMusic.com, JohnFreemanMusic.com. If you want podcast music, this is the guy to talk to. I go to right now. He's the theme writer to the Shot from the Point production song. We'll be playing that a little later. Please check it out. Please check JohnFreemanMusic.com. If you want to start your own podcast, this is the guy to do it for. So please, check out JohnFreemanMusic.com. That's right. Of course, my boy Jake isn't here. He's playing softball. But we might do a show later this Friday, another summer show. It's hot. I mean, can you see me? Ugh. It's friggin' hot. Is this considered a German heat wave? Are we having a heat wave over here? God, I couldn't tell. It's insanity. Complete friggin' insanity. Ugh, God, I'm fucking dying out here. It's ridiculous. Let me give myself oh no, I can't retweet that one. Let's retweet Kaylee's. She kind of helped me out. No, can't do that one either. Super. Hey, big shout out to Joe Cronin's fan for being so supportive. Listen to Monetize This. That's pretty much what I've been doing this summer is Monetize This, which has been great fun, and I hope to do more in the future. Last episode wasn't so hot, but I think we had a moment or two. You only listen to the beginning. Yeah, the rest is a train wreck, you're right. But yeah, Monetize This. AHL rule changes. All right, here we go. AHL rule changes. Some good, some bad, and some things that I think, although I say this every year, that's it for fighting, but this may be it. Here's a good one. New overtime system. 7 minutes. The first 7 minutes, they're going to play 7-minute OT, and when there's 3 left to go, after that whistle, so if it goes into 3, they're not going to blow it dead. They're going to wait till after the whistle. Then it's 3-on-3 for the last 3 minutes. So whistle's got to blow. So if there's no whistle between 3 minutes to go and nothing, there'll be 4-on-4 the whole way. Great. Love it. Love the increase in time. Fantastic. I like the idea of 3-on-3. You don't get to see it too often. All for it. 1 defenseman, 2 forwards. Ooh, love the sound of it. Here's what I don't like the sound of. New rule is instituted. 2 fights, you're out. Doesn't sound too horrible, but I get the feeling. I get the feeling that if you coax a guy into one fight, it's going to eliminate enforcers, because if you coax an enforcer into one fight, they may try to coax him into another, and then it becomes like soccer. Everybody's trying to draw red cards, and that's the problem. Big shout out to Jeff Huffman. We've been talking a lot on Twitter. Says he loves the show right now. Give him a little retweet. Follow Jeff Huffman, because he's a badass. He's bad, and he does bad things. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for listening to the show. So, going back to what I was talking about before, I'm afraid that look, I think I'm starting to think the NHL thinks they're going to lose these lawsuits that are coming up with the head injuries. It's not like anybody put a gun to these guys' head. They were told in junior that they were going to have to probably fight for a living. But this may be the way to wheeze it out. I don't like the idea, but it's like one of these things, like it might not have a big effect as I think. I do want the guys to be safe, but fighting is a part of the game, and I'd like to keep that part of the game because I'm afraid to turn to soccer. And it will, because I've seen the future. I've seen Europe. It will happen. So if you don't think so. The other one was another injury related. If you lose your helmet, you got to skate to the bench. Look, does the AHL or the NHL or any of these, do they think that if they had these rules years ago that there wouldn't be just as many guys hurt or have showing sign of brain injury. Is this really going to make the difference? So you got to skate to the bench. Can you imagine if your helmet... So what if your helmet falls off and you're a defenseman? Now you got to freaking patch it up there real tight like a moron. Everybody's going to look ridiculous next season.
They do anyway.
What's that?
They do anyway.
No, they don't. What?
Without teeth.
What's that? Yeah. Look, we're never going to eliminate head injuries. I'm all for improving the technology or what have you, but I think the rule changes like this give people the impression that these things are going to go away, and they're not. And I also think 2 fights and you're out, and skating to the helmet after you lose your bench, which I think is a rule in international hockey, if I'm not mistaken. I really think you're only pleasing people that hate your sport. You're only pleasing people that don't like hockey. You're only pleasing people that have a problem with contact sports. Barack Obama recently said, if I had a son, I wouldn't let him play football or have to think really hard about it. And I think that's who you're pleasing. You're pleasing hipster douchebags like Ryan Lampert and what have you that hate the game and want to see it not even resemble any of the tradition or what have you. Hockey has risks, big risks. And you as a parent have to decide if you want your kid doing that, especially if he's good, because that means he's going to pay the price and what have you. But I will point out, one things the anti-fighting guys tend to bring up are Derek Bugart, Wade Ballack, who was the who got Bob Provert. All of them are drug addicts. All of them are dead. Nobody really remembers. I'd like to see statistics on fighters that were not drug addicts or did not have drug problems. And as far as, do they have problems? Yeah, sure. But, I don't, even though we know more about CTE and things of that nature, does anybody think in 1977 getting punched in the head for a living was a freaking healthy thing to do? Or we just come to believe in our self-entitled society that we have a right not to get injured? And if we don't have a right to get injured, maybe we should just eliminate the sport altogether. What was that movie? You ever see Demolition Man? The one with Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone?
No.
Well, it's in the future, and everybody's a big pussy.
No.
And at one point, Sandra Bullock mentions the time that he mentions the time where they had to ban contact sports, and what have you. Sounds like a wonderful place. Lose your helmet, skate to the bench. Well, it's an Olympic rule too. We'll see. I tell you something. I'll be completely honest with you. I had to study today because I have lost interest, and I always do this during the summer in hockey, and I've concentrated on trying to be funny on Monetize This, and I'm losing interest. And I tell you something, if fighting's not in the game, it's not even so much if fighting's not in the game, I think I can swallow it. It's if we have, there's this idea that if we eliminate the forcers, that these skill players are going to fill the role. And that's not true. A fourth-line pest may become a first-line player because it's a different type of intimidation. The intimidation role will just alter to being a rat. And everybody says, well, we have to try it first. Well, wrong. Because if we try it first and say, hey, this isn't working, let's put fighting back in the game, that's not going to happen. There's going to be so much resistance to that. It's better to keep it now and not apologize for it. Now, there's no trying it. Another thing is, we've seen it. We've seen Europe. We've seen how those play. We see the Europeans playing coming to the NHL. We've seen the diving. I was ashamed watching some of the New York Rangers trying to draw. Rick Nash, all he could do was draw a penalty towards the end of it. I was ashamed of it. It's not what I want. I did miss it because it was just after the Stanley Cup final, but the NHL is supposedly, and I don't have the details, going to take more action on diving. One of the ways they could do this, and the FIFA could take a lesson of this as well. FIFA could do this as well. They could, you could be suspended after the fact. In other words, it could be reviewable. I don't know exactly what the NHL is doing, but I'm all for it. Diving's cheating. It's cheating. Fighting's fun. I wouldn't say it's cheating, but there's a strategy behind it. And if you don't know the game, you don't know the game. Jeff Hoffman writes, I think if you take fighting out of the game, you'll see maybe more illegal hits and intent to injure. There's the other part. one of the things the European players did when they came over is swung that stick around. Also notice American college hockey players as well, swinging that stick because you had the cage on. There's no penalty. There's no actual, you don't have to have respect for somebody's body because the face is covered. I don't want that. I'll go right to UFC. That's the case. I'll start watching wrestling again or some shit. At least that's fun. I like it when it's for macho guys. I do. That's the game I like. The NHL wants to lose me, that's fine. Because I'll find something. I'll start watching rugby or Irish hurling or some horse shit like that. What else we got? Hey, want to call in? Got a question or comment? Check me out at Shot from the Point. Shot from the Point on Twitter. No, my username, Shot from the Point. One easy click. I'll put you on. If you got any questions, comments, disagreements, or things of that nature. All right, hate mail. I made a video, and I made it in a very un-Tommy C way because it bugged me, pissed me off. I don't like it. And there was this girl, and if you've seen the video before, she wrote hashtag, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I got a freaking great idea. A wonderful idea, in fact. I'm going to let you listen to what the video that I did, and we're gonna watch together, and we'll comment together. Is that looking right? No. Let's see. All right, is that? No, that's not what I want it to be, because I want to see my beautiful face. I'm sure you want to see it too. So let's listen to this together. And better cue it. Probably should have done this first. I'm in preseason form. What can I tell you? Bum ba bum. Well, it looks like it might work. No, it doesn't, of course. Bum ba da bum 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 ba da bum. There we go. All right, let's listen to the story, and I'll pause and comment it, and I'm gonna cover some of the messages in there and defend myself. Even my wonderful wife wasn't completely behind me on this, but I'm gonna marry a Detroit Red Wings player. Hashtag Puck Bunny. Now, here we go. That by itself, I guess could be considered like controversial or I don't know, anti-feminist or what have you. My view when I saw the tweet is, at worst it was naive. At best it was just a silly joke. But the Detroit Red Wings, and this is what makes this story sort of weird. If it was just this by itself and the normal creeps and Twitter got at this girl, it wouldn't be much to talk about. But the completely bizarre fact is the Detroit Red Wings decide to respond to this young woman. And here's what they wrote. Kaylee, please aspire to greater things than this. Now this, of course, opened the floodgates of tons and tons of criticism. This is one of them. This gentleman, I hesitate to call him that, Gino Papa Giorgio. What a stupid whore. Who calls themselves a puck bunny. Nah, you're a gold digger bitch. Get it right. Here's who calls themselves a puck bunny. Somebody who's joking around. You big jealous shit. Somebody who's jealous around, who's joking. That's who calls himself a puck bunny. Jeff, I'll get to you after this. Don't worry. Now, here's the thing. Now, I'm sure the Detroit Red Wings would say, now, they didn't intend something like this to happen. They even wrote back to this loon, if you ask me. Come on now, there's no need for name calling. Well, does that mean that it's okay to humiliate her in other names as long as you don't call her a slut? They had to know that this was going to open up the floodgates. And the reaction around the media seems to be, oh, that's great. She got told off. I'm thinking, as a father, which is exactly why I did the video, because it would seem to be very one-sided. An innocent tweet turned into a joke, a goof, turned into a public humiliation for little or no reason by, well, the theme of this is jealousy. Look at you. And, you know, in 10 years, my daughter's going to be 16. She may say something like this, and I would really hope that the Detroit Red Wings wouldn't see fit to humiliate her publicly. And I think that's what gets me so angry about the whole thing. In fact, young girls say stuff like this all the time. Let me fast forward to Kaylee herself.
And realize that maybe they responded, and
Well, what was the first thought that went in your head? I mean, it almost seems like you're sort of being lectured for making what I think is a somewhat innocent comment. How did it make you feel exactly?
I was kind of a little bit confused because they were like, "Oh, you should have better goals than that." Well, I'm going to college, like to do, like be a paralegal.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't say that was my only goal,
But
but they kind of took it.
didn't
How?
expect it. I mean, what was the intent of this tweet?
I was just for fun, just kind of thinking
Just
about
joking
it.
around?
Yeah.
Do you have aspirations to marry a Detroit Red Wing? Yeah, and so what if she did? So what if she did? And I think I got a lot of negative feedback on this. Hate mail. Which is good. I'm going to go over it with you somehow. And I think it had a lot to do, when I look back at it now, it had to do with a couple things. It's the elephant in the room. It's Kaylee's looks. That's the problem. That's what people have a problem with it. She's attractive and she's blonde. If I had to guess, there are two people working behind the Twitter account of the Detroit Red Wings. Two. An old homely bag that saw Kaylee, realized that she probably had more of a shot with a Detroit Red Wing than her homely, ugly, smelly, feminist, arrogant, commanding bitch ass had than she did. Or it's a self-righteous hipster asshole that can't understand why being such a pussy can't get him laid. That's why. And perfectly honest with you, Troy told me, he made the argument that the hashtag Puck Bunny was the thing. So I guess Troy's saying they have the right to kind of open up a can of worms on her because she wrote hashtag Puck Bunny. It's a goof. It's a goof. I mean, really. When in society did we get so judgmental that we could take an 18-year-old kid, girl, I know some people had a problem with me saying that, all right, young adult, whatever, that we got to sit there and lecture them? Since when? Publicly. If I were her father, I'd been like, hey, maybe the Puck Bunny thing is...
But that's not the only thing. Women's rights, feminism, gay marriage, now this.
Well, yeah, I mean... What do you mean by that, though?
It's not a surprise.
Well, it's not... Well, yeah, it's not a surprise. Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you when it happened. It's when that jackass got in the White House. Now we're judging everybody. Last year, what was I covering? I was covering Henrik Lundqvist because he didn't support gay rights correctly, according to the left media inside of hockey.
No, that's not right.
That's true. They climbed all over his ass. I did an interview with Lampert over it.
When did the women have to burn their bras only to get a voice?
Yeah, how's that her fucking problem?
But that's when everything started.
Yeah, but I mean, what's that got to do with this? Why? Because those feminists back in the late 60s, which, by the way, things have dramatically changed since then. What gives... Now we lecture girls to make sure they're feminists? We make everything really unfun?
No. Your question was since when does civilization does that?
What's that?
You said since when does the civilization...
I tell you something. Maybe that was over here in Germany. But I got to be honest with you. I think 10 years ago, it's over the top. I think things have changed recently. Maybe over here. I honestly, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it's like, come on, get over yourself. Now it's good for you. You're shaming her.
Not here. Remember, 10 years ago, they would have burned you if you accused the Turk by stealing.
Yeah, well, what a nice place. What a nice place. That we're going to be publicly humiliated because we don't hold the right political opinions or we goof around about sex. I got news for you. I don't care if she wrote Puck Dunny. Here's what if she was a 40-year-old hooker and said, hey, future goals, I want to suck every Detroit Red Winger's cock. I still don't think they had the right to judge her. I don't care if she's a 50-year-old hooker with crabs. I still don't think so. I think it's stupid. Let's speaking of stupid. Here were some of the criticisms I got. Well, Troy said, Troy's comment wasn't too bad. Here, we'll go with her. The derogatory comment was her referring to herself of a puck bunny. I can't wait to see what I can see what the Wings are getting at. But that's the point. Why are they getting at it? Is this their place? Is that what we do? Liberals are church ladies. That's not nice. You have to be pull up your wear a don't wear that out. Make sure you cover your cleavage.
Go back to hockey.
It's my show.
Leave the politics out.
My show. I'm going to respond to it. Who was the other criticism? What else I got here? Well, here was a legitimate one. Yo, Tommy, it's DB Cooper. Being a Detroit Red Wings native, I'm a super fan. I'm on the fence. I just don't think a franchise like Detroit should be blamed as a whole. You know what I mean? Definitely disappointed. I totally get you. I'm not blaming Pavel Datsyuk. I'm not blaming Mike Babcock. I'm blaming the people in the upper office. It's nothing to do with the Wings. Absolutely nothing. Here's Tyler Scott. Huge asshole. It's amazing what passes for news these days. Just because someone isn't kissing your ass complimenting 24/7 doesn't mean they're being mean. So it's ridiculous. And completely taken out of constructive criticism from our vocabulary, replaced it with hater. That's not what I'm saying. Second of all, this was news. And you know why it was the news? Every single hockey blog pointed it like, good, this girl got what she deserved. And this comment right here that she's not being complimented 24/7, this was what it tells me. And this is what it goes back to. It has to do with her looks. How do you know she's being complimented 24/7 to begin with? My point is, stupid, that it's not the Detroit Red Wings' place. Perhaps you think it's right to go on there and start lecturing what they should do and what they should hashtag and what they should do sexually. Let me tell you something. If she was a homely pig, if she was a pig, would you care? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. It has to do with her looks. It has to do with your jealousy. If you're a female, you're jealous she's better looking than you. And if you're a male, you're jealous because you can't get laid. Do you realize... that was... Go read it if you want. This is my personal favorite. Somebody told me I used to be cool. This is the one. This is Gamer SXX, who claims to be one of my fans, which I could care less of. I'm glad he's gone. This is one of the most idiotic hockey videos I've ever seen. I can't even believe you interviewed this woman. Why? Was it hard to hear her voice? Was it hard to hear that she was a young person? Was it hard to hear that she might be your sister? You took two meaningless tweets and ran with it. No, I didn't take a meaningless tweet and run with it. The Detroit Red Wings did. Gamer SX. Let me guess. You sit home, you play video games all fucking day, and you can't get laid. So you think it's good. It makes you feel good that this girl's getting lectured. You feel good about yourself. Well, congratulations. Somebody else said that I had a pathological obsession with hating the Detroit Red Wings. Give me a fucking break. Actually, I was listening the other day. I got one of my shows. I think Jake asked me if I was ever, if the Rangers were ever to pack up, I would pick the Wings. So, screw you. I got the audio evidence to back it up. So, it really doesn't matter. If the Rangers did this, I'd have been all over them. I got to be honest with you. If the Rangers did this, I'd criticize the people that worked in this department, and I'd still watch every fucking game. The Wings made this about politics, not me. The blogs made this a story, not me. Now, if I got to play devil's advocate with myself a little bit, yeah, you are responsible with what you say. Every time you write something on Twitter, Kaylee, something like this could happen. I mean, I don't feel that sorry for her. What I have a problem with is this societal thing where we run around lecturing girls for being sexual, for goofing around. And it's got a lot of my problems with, you can't make a friggin' race joke or a friggin' off-color comment anymore without being criticized and humiliated. You can't make a joke about women. You can't make and I tell you something, it got worse since the douchebag in the White House got there. Because all the lefties, all these friggin' other side of the spectrum church ladies gotten power, and now it's their time to look down on you. The same way the church people would. Ugh. Had enough. Had enough. So F you, critics. And whatever his gamer ethics, I used to be cool. I never heard of you. You never got in contact with me. I don't care, and I'm glad you're fucking gone. Because you don't get it, and you care about the Detroit Red Wings more than you do people. Fuck you! This is for you. Hope you're ready, Jeff. Jeff tried to call before, so I'm trying to put him on. Well, Jeff, you want to call me, feel free. All right. Well, I lost you. Black Mama, you're on the air.
Hello.
What's up?
What's up? Are we still on this criticism subject? I don't know how behind I am.
No. You can talk. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about what you were talking about criticizing people.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
You can't say shit anymore. Any little thing about gays, it gets blown up in the media and everybody gets in trouble for it. Even if it's a fucking joke.
It's a goof.
Like some lady on the news was joking about. I don't know if you heard about. She was joking about running over cyclists because she hated them.
Yeah.
And then everybody blew it up. And then she lost her job as being a police officer. I'm like, oh my god.
This is just with this girl. It's a different version. She was being sexual. She's saying she's a puck bunny or hash, and it was a goof. So what they did is they had to make sure you're not towing the feminist line.
Yeah.
So even jokes to be criticized. That's my whole problem. And I got to be honest with you. If it was just some scumbag on the net, if it was just some idiot on the net that said you're a slut, you think I'd have been covering this? I'm covering this because all the blogs fucking loved it. They loved it. It was just like, what did they call that back in the Middle Ages where they put you in the rack and everybody threw tomatoes at you and shit? I forget what it's called.
I don't know. You're in.
I got another caller. You got anything else?
No, that's what I wanted to say.
Thanks, man. See you around, Left
Right.
Obvious. Listen to monetize this.
All right.
Jeff, you're on the air. Jeff?
All right, what's going on, dude? Sorry, I was playing the game.
Sure. No problem. I told you to hold off anyway because I wanted to finish my rant and what have you.
Oh no, you're good. Hold on, let me turn down the YouTube.
Yeah.
Stream.
No, I hear you pretty good. Well, you got a comment?
Oh yeah. But the criticism thing, like around here in St. Louis, I hear girls all the time saying, "I want to marry TJ Oshie, David Backus, all that."
So do I.
It's all a joke. It's ridiculous.
Let me ask you something. Let's say this was an 18-year-old gay boy.
Right.
Do you think? Which, by the way, I don't got a problem with that.
No.
And he wrote something. Do you think the Detroit Red Wings would have responded?
No.
No, absolutely not.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Absolutely not at all. They would be afraid to. But it's okay. And I honestly think it has something to do with this girl's looks.
Right.
That's really what it has. It has everything to do with this chick's looks.
I'm on the same boat with you.
And what have you, and they can't stand it. Like I said, it's a gamer who can't get laid. That the only job he could get was being a fucking Twitter douchebag for the Detroit Red Wings, or it's a chick that the Detroit Red Wing Pavel Datsyuk wouldn't spit on if she was on fire, and she knows it. How much you want to bet a chance that Zetterberg wants to get in Kaylee's pants more than she wants to get out of the bitch behind the Twitter account? How much you want to bet?
Oh, man.
You big pig. You're a filthy pig. And if you're a guy, I'm going to kick your ass because you're a big pussy. You're a pussy. If you want a pretty girl, work hard at it. Jerk off. You got any hockey stuff? Because my wife's yelling at me for all the politics. You got any hockey stuff, bud?
Well, being that I'm from St. Louis, you think the Blues can actually get past that first round this year?
God, it's funny because they're a lot like the Sharks, because they always have a good team going in. I would have liked to see them keep. What do you think about Ryan Miller leaving?
I was okay with Halak to begin with. I didn't think they needed a goalie at the trade deadline. I was one of the few people who wasn't big on it.
Yeah.
And it kind of showed in the playoffs because, Ryan Miller, he can't steal you a game, and I
Well,
felt Halak could, even though Miller would give you a little more stability.
Mhm.
I felt Halak could steal a game for you, and Miller didn't do that.
I'd rather go with the steady guy if that was the case, but it's too late now. If you would have said I don't
Right.
want Ryan Miller because he's just going to take off anyway, but I mean, for him to go to Vancouver, that kind of surprises me. I'm a little
absolutely.
surprised. First of all, if St. Louis doesn't do it this year, they're a team for the future as well. They're reasonably young. I think I would like to see them make more creative moves this summer.
I really like the Stastny pickup, though.
The Stastny pickup's huge.
I love that.
The Stastny pickup.
We just lost Luka to the KHL, so
I can't believe Stastny didn't stay in Colorado.
I know.
I think they're on. I think they're much closer to the Stanley Cup than St. Louis is, even though St. Louis has been the more. What's that? You agree with me?
Oh, I said I think they are too.
Yeah, so it does, and I guess Ryan O'Reilly's contract's going to arbitration as well. So that's really strange. What have you? You're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it would be an accomplishment if you guys got to the Western Conference Final. So I think that's the thing, and you also kind of got to lose to win a little bit. A lot of it. See, I wouldn't say that about the Ducks, and I certainly wouldn't say that about San Jose. But teams like Minnesota and St. Louis, I don't think it's as big a deal for them to get eliminated. They're not win now teams. They're not teams that should be there. There's still some kind of room, and maybe during this time they can kind of fill the voids, make deals during the regular season. The free agent market's kind of dried up now, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But you never know. They can make a mid-season trade. Expect them to be at the top of the fold. But as you know, as being a loyal St. Louis fan, even though when you guys have good seasons, the playoffs is a different season.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really, but I think your mission in life is is beating Chicago in the regular season and using those victories to say, hey, we beat Chicago, we can beat Los Angeles, we can beat anybody.
Right.
But now you got a goalie problem.
And we got Jake Allen and Brian Elliott, and the only vision I have of Jake Allen is from 2 years ago when he made that ridiculous save in Calgary where he dove across the net and swatted it with his stick, and you could probably find it.
I think I do remember that one. That was a pretty save. Well, another thing is you really got to ride your goaltender in the playoffs, and a lot of times you take who was the kid in Montreal when Carey got hurt? I can't even remember his name already. He had a Polish last name. Oh, man, it seems like the season was years ago, for Christ's sakes. There's always a chance when you bring one of these younger guys up because coaches are so afraid of bringing new goalies up because they don't know if they're going to be tested at the level. Sometimes when they're forced to, you see great players. I guarantee there's probably a few real quality NHL goalies that are in the AHL right now, but people are just afraid. They go with what's consistent. They go with history and what have you. So good luck to your Blues and what have you. You got anything else? Because I'm going to move on and try to end this pretty soon.
Go for it, man.
All right, man. Thanks for being so loyal and communicating with me and supporting Kaylee. Not that she needs support. Something tells me she's going to end up a lot better than somebody who tweets for a living. I hope she does marry a Detroit Red Wing and walks right through the damn media place.
Oh, that'd be hysterical. I'd pay to see that.
It would be wonderful. Take care, brother. Take care, Jeff. All right, Jeff. Cut him off like that. Wasn't very nice of me, but I'm not a nice person, as you can tell. NHL 15. I'm, I was mentioning before, Bacon. He has his own channel on YouTube here. I try to get him an interview. I haven't been able to nail an interview with the guy, but he says they did the right thing by not doing next gen, and the screens look amazing. Jersey fluttering. Supposedly physics improvements. I'm a little edgy about that because if you jerk the thing around too much, apparently the player can lose control of the puck. We're kind of used to, as NHL players, to things kind of being glued there. But, I want a realistic puck and what have you. So, barring, yeah, I'm getting drunk and it's hot. Barring the fact that that doesn't become it adds to the game and it doesn't impede the game. I'm all for better physics engines when it comes to the puck. NHL 14 was fantastic. It's really good. I really enjoy it. I really wish I could afford a new system so I could play NHL 15 with you all next year. September 1st, by the way. September 1st, right? I'm gonna get like a full month before the hockey season. It's awesome. It's awesome. The game is great. It's such a part of the NHL culture. For jerk-offs that actually can't play ice hockey, there's so many different ways to play it. You can do the card thing. You can do like ECHL, the EA, SHL like I do. You can... it's fantasy hockey, and it's video game hockey, and it's just also a great way to talk hockey. If you're like me, you just like to bullshit about hockey, and I live in Europe, and I can't bullshit with guys like Jeff and Black Mamba, you know? But you can do that. Hey, any more calls? Thank you for folks for calling in. If I get any more calls, that would be super, super, super duper great. But NHL 15, probably better off waiting. Physics changes. Like I said, Shamalama, Ding Dong there from Vancouver. Patrice Bergeron is on the cover. It's sure to be a great season. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff, real good stuff. How much time did I do? Shit. I got time. How about me and you, we go over the news together. I'd like to do that. We'll go to the Puck Daddy news. I don't do it like I normally do, but we'll do the Puck Daddy news. I'll flip through the thing with you, and we'll go over some stuff, and I'll comment on the headlines as they go by. Make sure this is working right. Yeah, it is. Great. All right. Gino Ojek, former Vancouver Canuck, he is apparently entering his final days. He's only 6 years older than I am. He was the heart and soul of the Vancouver Canucks for very, very many years. Apparently, he was having other health issues. He's having another health issue, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'll just confirm this because, like I said, I haven't been paying super attention because of my break. I think cancer has come into the picture. And, of course, you see the Vancouver fans supporting Gino and all he sacrificed for the Vancouver Canucks. And, we hope his final days are peaceful and loving and for his family. Guy I didn't like when we played against the Rangers, but definitely those are the great hockey fans. Let's see what else we got. Preds let go of Michael Dalzotto. Boy, this guy was the top Ranger defenseman for a long time. Boy, things didn't work out for him when Tortorella left. Tortorella had a problem with him in 2012 in the playoffs. I don't know. I had less of a problem with him, but he didn't. Apparently, he's lazy. Yeah, apparently. Let's go over. We're gonna probably live. Jason Spenza. That's one of the big trades. He goes to Dallas. Big blockbuster. He wanted out of Ottawa. Maybe he wanted to get away from the bug-eyed walrus. I don't know. Let's see. Christian Ehrhoff signs 1-year deal with the Penguins. So what? Who cares? Again, Benoit Pouliot heads to the Oilers. Why do you want to go to the Oilers? Is it all about the money? Maybe because he had such an injury-plagued beginning of his career. That's why he made that move. I got no problems with these guys making money. None. Zero. You got to make it while you can make it. As far as Harrison Mooney, the Blues overpay for Paul Stastny for 4 years. I'm not a cap guy. I'm not interested in it. I don't really like the cap all that much. Maybe that's because that's gross. Oh, I'm watching heart surgery. It's heart surgery, isn't it? See, my girlfriend's real sorry for heart. I was in the Army, and that still grosses me out. Well, Puck Daddy says they're overpaying for Stastny. Whether they overpaid for or not, I'll leave that debate to somebody else that knows something about it. But I think Stastny going to St. Louis is great for St. Louis, and definitely a big loss for Colorado. Like I say, I'm going to touch things that I think are relevant. Mike Calamari, another free agent. He gets 5 years out of New Jersey. Boy, that does seem like a lot. assistant captain over in Calgary. Yeah, boy, for him, great move, by the way. Great move. And, of course, we touched on it before, Dan Boyle. The perfect pickup for the New York Rangers. Well, since we, lost Brian. I'm going to miss Brian Boyle a little bit. Big, dumb Irishman. Loved him. Brooks Orpik's got 5-year, $27 million from Washington. The Washington Capitals defense is starting to look spooky. Jonas Seller can't get out of town not fast enough. He gets a $9 million deal with Calgary. And I think that's punishment. He's in hockey Siberia. Hope you like the snow. We already covered it before. Miller leaves St. Louis. I'd have stayed there. I would have left. Thomas Vanek can't get out of Montreal quick enough. He signs a 3-year deal with Minnesota. Hey, listen. If Vanek can perform, like Vanek can perform, which is a coin toss, definitely, I wouldn't mind seeing him on the same line with Zach Parise. Would you? Jerome McGinley. He gets a 3-year deal with the Avalanche. He's probably going to end his career with them. Jerome McGinley, one of the few guys my age left in the league. All right. Oh, believe me, it hurts. I hate it. It sucks getting old, kids. Sucks getting old. Matt Molson goes. We've covered this before as well. He goes to the Sabres for 5 years. Praises their clear direction. Boy, that Indian there who hates to be called an Indian and is all real sensitive about race, Ted Nolan. He had to impress. He must have impressed somebody. By the way, that whole thing that happened 15 years ago with him leaving and claiming racism every time he gets fired, it wasn't about racism in Buffalo. It was a power struggle. Look it up. But that being said, as big a cookie liberal as Ted Nolan is, I always thought he was a great coach. He got a lot out of Buffalo. They weren't that. Check out that. Did he have them going to the final in '99? No, but he built that team. He also apparently had a problem with Dominic Hasek. Here's the worst one for me. Strawman getting 5 years at Tampa. Absolutely awful for the New York Rangers. The guy who was key when Girardi was nowhere to be found. Girardi better pick it up in New York. Better pick it up. I'm telling you. Brad Richards goes to Chicago. And we wish the best for Brad Richards. I know things didn't work out. I was real kind of heavy critic of him. But like I said before, sort of like a Gabrick situation in L.A., I think if he can lay back and not be the assistant captain, alternative captain, whatever you want to call it, I think maybe he can thrive there. And I hope it's a good team to go to. Chicago could very well win the Stanley Cup. And, of course, we talked about Brooks Orpik before, but Matt Niskanen also heads to Washington. That's huge. Washington's defense is looking spooky. Like it. And real sad news. One of the great voices of the National Hockey League, Rick Jarrett, he's fighting throat cancer. Jesus Christ. You know what? I maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this looks unprofessional. But I'm going to do this because I just have so much respect for Rick. Mayday parade for all you commies. No, I don't want the Mayday parade. That's not what I want. Mayday parade. Mayday Sabres. This is just awesome. This is one of the great calls in hockey history. One of the great
When you've got something going with the other guy, like LaFontaine and Sweeney do, you just love that.
This hit me harder.
Oh, you try to get the best of each other, and it spurs you on often.
Well, the face-off just inside the Boston line.
I remember playing against Lou Nanny. Him and I used to have some real wars going, and we'd hit each other clean, and that's all you care about. You don't mind if a guy plays tough against you.
It's OT.
It's brought back into the Sabres corner.
Look to the goon.
He teams up with Sutton holding on to Hines. We're in overtime. Tied at 5.
Would have been tripping today.
Oh! Got the puck. Hangs on to it. He scores!
Wait a minute. That's not Rick Jarrett. Oh, that must have been the Bruins call. How could you title that Mayday? Horrible. Let's watch the Jericho. I don't know why I didn't recognize it. Here it is. Here it is. That's a hockey call. That's how to make a hockey call and how not to make a hockey call and how to make a hockey call. This is how to make a hockey call. This is how to make a hockey call. Yeah! That's good stuff. Rick, wish you the best. Wish you the best. Keep fighting, and I know you will. Keep fighting. Know you will. All right, let's flip it on. Oh, we got to talk about Claude Giroux. He was arrested in Ottawa for grabbing the backside of a Ottawa police officer. Did you know that? You like Claude Giroux. You think he's cute, right? Yeah. Would you do him? Wasn't a no. Wasn't a no. Well, here's the best part. You might be a little disappointed because he grabbed a male police officer's butt. Giroux was arrested, and he later apologized, saying it was a poor attempt at humor. She said it was a challenge. Yeah, you know, that's why, honestly, I think that's why all those chicks have those gay boyfriends. They want to flip them. They want to flip them.
No, we don't like women, that's why.
They don't like women?
We don't like women.
You don't, well, you don't have, yeah, I guess. So nobody has to compete for your attention, is that it?
Yeah.
That's why you have gay boyfriends.
Yeah.
I know. I got no problem with that. That means I don't have to go to romantic comedies. Because I hate them. Steve Downey signed by the Penguins. Big yawn there. Olli Jokinen, 1 year. The Predators. Yeah, he's probably happy to get out of Winnipeg, I would imagine. You know, there's a lot of rumors going around that the Mike Babcock is actually chasing the free agents away. I wonder why that is. Is he too hard on them? He's too mean? Because everybody's a pussy? I don't know. I think Babcock should go, personally, and I tell you why. Not that he's a bad coach. I think he'd be better in a new place with new players that have respect for him that don't know him. And I think it's like Jacques Lemaire says from the New Jersey Devil. Sometimes they stop listening to you. And Detroit hasn't been that great, even though they're stacked. And now they're old. So, I don't know. And now they can't get free agents because they think Babcock is too mean. Babcock. Makes me laugh. It means he has a clean weenie. Clean weenie. Steve Moore, the guy who Todd Bertuzzi damn near killed him, attacked him from behind, wants a $68 million from Todd Bertuzzi in a lawsuit. I don't know if the money's reasonable, but he definitely deserves something because his career was cut short. To this day, I have trouble watching the Bertuzzi hit on Steve Moore when he broke his neck. It is you can ask my wife. I have to turn my head. And I've said that Bertuzzi's been hanging on like a jaded cop just to collect enough money to pay off Steve Moore, and that's the way it's looking. I don't care. I don't care. What that guy did was unforgivable. Unforgivable to me. Alexei Kovalov, one of my favorite players growing up. I wouldn't say my favorite player. I met him. I got a funny story about Alexei Kovalov. I was young man. I was 15, I was 92, 93, and I was standing outside the Garden parking lot when he was part of the Rangers, and he had just got this like super hot. I don't know too much about cars, but it was like a super hot car. But he obviously had never drove stick shift before, and he was pulling out of the parking lot across the street from the guarding, and it was like, and then everybody's like laughing at him, and he rolled out the window. And he's like, "Yes, I cannot drive," and then, I'm thinking to myself, "You're gonna drive through Manhattan? You can't drive stick." I don't even like driving stick in Manhattan. But Alexei Kovalov, the AK-27, one of my favorite players. He played in where did he play in Switzerland last year? He played in Switzerland last year. He called it quits. He had kind of quickly parted from the NHL last year when he didn't work out in Florida. But what works out in Florida? Interesting note about him: he was expected to, if anybody was going to outperform Eric Lindros, he was drafted the same year. A lot of people thought it was Kovalov. He definitely had the talent. Never quite probably reached the level that he was capable of, which I would think was maybe top greatest players of all time. But he was definitely, I think he'll go to the Hall of Fame. I love Alexei. And of course, Puck Daddy said, Alexei Kovalov is retired from professional hockey, leading many hockey fans to proclaim, Alexei Kovalov is still playing? Greg Wyshynski? Yeah, you know what? If you play in the freaking Swiss B League, you're twice the man Greg Wyshynski would be. There's a picture of freaking... That's a picture of Giroux getting arrested. That was too funny. Of course, there's Tyler Toffoli with his dad, who looks like a biker. He got a tattoo, an LA Kings tattoo. It might as well. What happens when the kid gets traded there, Tyler Toffoli's dad? Super duper funny. Dustin Brown goofs on President Obama? I didn't know this. I don't know. It's been difficult for me to watch the... It's been a little hard for me to watch the celebration for the Kings. I gotta be honest with you. So let's watch The Worst President in My Lifetime, and let's watch the
Kings are the Stanley Cup champion.
Super. Let's watch the worst president in my lifetime since Jimmy Carter, or maybe worse than him, and the great Dustin Brown. What do you think? You want to watch this?
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To you and the entire Kings organization. That was a great series. Although, I guess if you're a New Yorker, maybe not so much.
Or a Chicago fan.
Or a Chicago fan. See, I don't know why you had to go there. You guys seem to just know how to
Obama's from Chicago.
pull out overtime games.
Well, we just lean on each other at that point, and we've had enough experience with the high pressures.
Well, it showed, and it was an unbelievable run that you guys had, and it's been great to watch what you've done with the Kings, but also in the Olympics, and I just want to say how proud I am to see how you represent the U.S. in Sochi and the sportsmanship you demonstrated as a leader on.
Wow, that's really
Team
classy.
USA. So congratulations on a pretty good year.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, and let all your teammates and the whole organization know. We're proud of, and
all right, I can't make Obama look that good. That was really classy. That was really nice of him. But it was really cool in Chicago. I gotta isolate that clip. That was super great. That was fantastic. Oh, Jesus Louises. Look at Ryan Miller in fucking Vancouver. Ugh, I like him less already. Rumors going around Wayne Gretzky wants to own a team in Seattle. Who do you think you are, Mario Lemieux? I don't know. I would not buy a new hockey team if I was Wayne Gretzky. Sounds like a big money loss. But he probably figures he could dip out before... he probably thinks he could dip out before he loses any money. Why do we need a team in Seattle? Let's work on it. Let's concentrate on the teams that are having problems, like a Florida, or maybe combine them, or maybe get less teams. I don't even care if some teams fold. What's this? And KHL goes from threat to niet for NHL. Apparently, they're not going to run any games anymore or something. Well, Here's the thing about the KHL. It's not good when one of your teams has to leave because of a fucking war. That's right. There was a team, and apparently the rebels, who recently shot down a Malaysian airliner with about 23 Americans, over 100 Dutchmen, and a handful of Brits. Apparently they were all scientists, AIDS researchers, really important people that these things, that these bastards, rebels in Ukraine killed. And they also bombed one of the, or they tore down one of the KHL's affiliates, the Ukrainian affiliates team. So, that's what you get when you have to fight a war so close to your homeland, a useless, pointless war. So, so long. Do feel bad for those Ukrainians over there. Don't feel bad for Russia. That doesn't mean I hate Russians or Russian players or anything, but I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan. According to this, Dan Boyle wanted to play for the New York Rangers, leaving money on the table. Yeah, after you drop 4 games in a row to the LA Kings, the money's not an issue. The San Jose Sharks are never winning a Stanley Cup in my lifetime. Well, maybe. How Barry Trotz defends the Prokoropin signing. I think it's a good pickup. I think so. Oh, check this broad out. It's like half man, half woman, all hockey player. Hillary Knight, she's on the U.S. Women's Olympic team, and she's got nice boobies, and she has a tummy that looks like the Hulk's. I gotta be honest with you, that's sexy to me. You don't think so? I'd leave her skates on and hold them over her head. No whistle?
Of course, because...
I don't know, is that sexy to you? You know what's interesting? Puck Daddy puts this shit on, right? And just a couple months ago, they were bissing and moaning about Ice Girls. But this is okay. And by the way, both of it's okay. She got big thighs, though. Not hard in the eyes if you don't look at her tummy. Oh, Jesus. Jesus Louises. Hey, look at this Swiss, he's supposed to be the Swiss Chara. Guy's a beast. Look at him. 21-year-old. What's his name? Let me get his name out there. It's probably very Deutsche. He's a 6'6", 236-pound Swiss defenseman. Elliot Anati. It sounds like an Italian name. Oh, there's a lot of Italian influence in Switzerland, right? Yeah, it's French, Italian, and German, right? Well, he's one big soprano. I was gonna say something else, but I didn't. Rich Kuhn opens about alcoholism. Oh God, I'm so sick of stories like that. Vander Kane. I'm about getting sick of this. Almost an hour and a half. Oh, Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, they re-signed 8 years or so. I don't know how you could split those bastards up. 2 Stanley Cups in 3 years. 4 years. I'll take it. And don't think that the Chicago Blackhawks will not be a threat next year. They will. Corey Schneider, the replacement for Martin Brodeur. Brodeur can defend a team. He can defend a team. Corey Schneider accepted a 7-year deal, $42 million. And Brodeur's mantle, which is nice. I still wouldn't want to step in his place. He's half Swiss, you know? Schneider. Corey Schneider. You're from Switzerland. The special Schweizerdeutsch. All those farmers over there in Switzerland. Another big Ducks sign what's left of Danny Healy, according to it's probably true. Hey, listen, the reason I don't have a problem with goofing on Danny Healy is because he killed his best friend in a car accident, and I should probably play his car wreck sound effect, but I'm just not that cruel. I don't like Danny Healy. I think he's a bitch. Ugh, makes me see he killed his buddy. Can you imagine that? It wasn't like he was driving sane and somebody ran into him. He killed his buddy driving crazy. And that's about all we had. I don't see really anything here. That's nothing. Brian O'Reilly heading to arbitration. Boy, there's a guy. Honestly, you lose Stosny, you lose O'Reilly. Patrick Watt's got to be begging them to keep him. Sign him. Dubinsky, former Ranger, Brandon Dubinsky, 6-year deal with Columbus. Likes it over there. Has become a big star. Alternative captain. Brandon Morrow, there's another guy. Didn't know. The great Dallas Star. He's going to try to head over there with Callahan, do something. You know, I like the moves. The Lightning have made. I think they're going to be a real fucking problem next year in the playoffs. There's my prediction. Just hopefully the teams will gel and what have you. And that's about it. Brian Berard wants $18 million for an insurance company that handled his eye injury. Huh. Brian Berard. Let's talk about the Islanders. They had Brian Berard, Todd Bertuzzi, Zdeno Chara, Zygmunt Palffy, and Mike Milbury let them all go. Darius Kasparaitis. Ugh. Jaden Swartz, St. Louis Blues. He changes his number from 9 to 17 in memory of his sister, Mandy. I can't imagine what it's like losing a sibling at a young age. It's unimaginable to me. Very sad. Well, let's keep the comedy going, right? I'm not going to monetize this show. I won't monetize this. Here's an article I think you should check out. The fact of the matter is a lot of the enforcers are not getting picked up or going to crappy teams. Does that mean the enforcers are gone? Maybe. You know, this happened in the beginning of the season when George Ferros suffered a nasty injury with a Colton Orr fight. I wonder if it had something to do with it, but there wasn't too many bad injuries related to fighting. This happened very early in the season last year. Could be the end. I was calling for it last year, but I think they're going to ease it out. Kevin Dineen leaves Team Canada's women's team. Joins the Blackhawks staff for Whalers reunion cup chance. Kevin Dineen, good Philadelphia Flyer, if I remember correctly. Who's that? Which one's that? Of course, we've been doing the World Cup here in Germany. Which one's he? I can't tell. Well, of course, the Germans won the World Cup, and that's one of the reasons that I didn't do any videos or anything, because I've been busy drinking. I can't remember who he is. Which one's that? Bum-ba-da-bum. Patrick Haynes, Puck Daddy making more of nothing out of nothing. They found some old Chicago Blackhawks logo. And is this hockey logo offensive? Because it's an Indian caricature. And, that's what they like to do with Puck Daddy. Get offended at absolutely everything. Crosby deciding not to have wrist surgery. I guess it's not that bad. The way he played in the last... You might want to think about it, the way he played in the playoffs, you dipshit. And, yeah. I think I'm done. Yeah, Sean Thornton, Matt Lombardi, goes to the Rangers. That's a big snore, and Lee Stampanik at the end, and what have you. Oh, and nobody wants Marty. Marty is... I think Marty's going to end up retiring, because it doesn't seem like any team is really willing to take the risk of taking him. So that's it. I'm going to thank the callers, Jeff and Black Mamba, for calling in and talking about hockey. We might have a show with Jake later in the week, which should be a lot of fun. Talking a little hockey with Jake. He's got softball, so he couldn't make it. And but I'm really happy with this show. But it's time to come to an end. So let me do my plugs and get out of here. Are you a wrestling fan? I'm a wrestling fan. And you should check out the Joe Cronin Show, a friend of the Shop from the Point Productions channel. You can check him out after big pay-per-views and also after Monday Night Raw. He does a live show right here on YouTube. I am his grasshopper. He is my sensei. And he does a great job. Dig wrestling. There's nothing like it on the net. And let me tell you something. To be a part of the Joe Cronin fan base is cool in itself. It's a great group of people. I'm so happy and proud that I'm a part. And I'm not bullshitting. I'm really proud to be a part of the whole Joe Cronin team. I'm super honored to even be able to do a show with him. Sometimes I drop in on the Raw show, and you love wrestling. This is your man, and what have you. And you can check me, Tommy C, on Monetize This Wednesday nights, midnight Eastern Standard, and you can also check out Chris Kosovich, where we do an all late night shock doc guy talk. We talk about guy stuff. Check out Monetize This. Monetize This. Oh, yeah. I'm on Facebook. Check me out on Facebook. Yeah, check me on Facebook. It's called Tommy C and Other Shot from the Point. It used to be called that. Shot from the Point and Other Crap. Check it out. You see how hot it is here in Germany? I look ridiculous. Looks like I just skated. God, it's ridiculous. Yeah, check out Shot from the Point and Other Crap on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter at Tommy C SFTP. You also, if you do the Google Plus thing, which nobody else does, but I do the Google Plus thing. And I would love for you to subscribe if you enjoyed the show, whether you're listening on live or demand. I appreciate it. And for those who dig it, let your other hockey friends know. Share it. Let them know. And I don't just say that. You know, go to Shot from the Point and Other Crap. Go to Share with Friends. And share with everybody. Look, if you're not sharing video games and stupid like Farmland or your Mafia, whatever you're doing on Facebook, this one time you can just do a mega share with all 200 of your friends on Shot from the Point and Other Crap. I would appreciate that. It would be super great. It'd be fantastic. And if you want to talk to me, it's Tommy C SFTP. Hey, listen, if you friend me or follow me and expect me to follow back just because if you talk to me, I'll follow you back. Because I'm not following you for the sake of promoting your fucking country music career. I don't care. But if you want to be my friend, you want to talk to me, I'll talk to you back. But if you're just friend, I need you to follow me back. Fuck, I get these guys that follow me for like 2 days. Fuck you. Eat me. Eat me raw. And like I said, Google Plus and what have you. That'd be great. Super. Oh, I do have something else. Off of the hockey subject, I post one crime video today. So if you're into people murdering each other and shit, I'm into like serial killers and mafia stuff and murder mysteries. I have I think it's called, what the hell is it called? True crime videos. Try True Crime Videos on Facebook. I do a site. There's no profit in for me, but I share the best crime videos on the internet. Anything from the mob, gangsters, gangbangers, European gangs, serial killers, crime mysteries. It's the best. And I post one a day, and I'm not obnoxious, and I'm not advertising Shot from the Point and other crap all the time. Just something I want to share with you. Talk about crime. So just in case things get bad enough, we can always go into crime, all of us, and make a little money. So check that out as well. And what do we have here? What's that? I hear something. JohnFreemanMusic.com. JohnFreemanMusic.com. John Freeman wrote the Shot from the Point theme. We use his music. We do all this sort of stuff and other things. Check out JohnFreemanMusic.com. I would really appreciate it if you do. And not only for his talents, he's got a lot of free stuff on SoundCloud, and there's all sorts of links on JohnFreemanMusic.com. And he wrote this song right here. And I would hope you check him out because he's a real talented guy. Yeah. That's right. I gotta fix this. This is awful. Sound keeps cutting out in my headphones. That can't be. We need more beer. What do you think? That's a big no. What are you gonna do? Thank you, everybody, for listening to the summer show, Shot from the Point Live. Stay tuned and subscribe. We'll put our next show up as early as possible, the link for it, and maybe we'll do one with Jake next week. I had fun tonight. I do my strongest solo show ever. Thanks for everybody who called in. Thank you, Joe Cronin fans. Thanks for being a part. Thanks for drinking with me. All right. I had a good time. We covered everything. Now you know, it's funny because I didn't do a lot of studying, and now I'm getting back in the groove. Oh, other thing I want to talk about is, let's come back for this. I know I made a lot of promises to do news updates and what have you, and I needed a break, and I got my break with the World Cup, and there's other stuff going on, and I didn't do any of it, so I haven't been putting a lot of content up. Oh, God, I'm sure you're sick of hearing that, but I think I needed a month off. And Andy said to me, he's like, you really need to do a show. Just 12 hours ago, I think he said it. And it's just like, you got to do something. Because you're walking around the house. I'm sick to death of playing Grand Theft Auto. It's boring my brains out. It's not even that, the live or the online stuff isn't even that great a game. And I just do it because there's nothing better to do. My daughter's not here this weekend. I don't even know what to do with myself. So, maybe it's time to get hot. And maybe I'll get hot on some other things like Epic 3 and a bunch of other stuff. So, thank you very again. Thank you. I'm Tommy C. And I'm the Sisop and Kung Fu Master of the Shot from the Point production channel, and I hope you tune in next time so you can say hello and goodbye and all that other good stuff. Thank you very much for tuning in for Shot from the Point. I will, Tommy. See ya!